Another one of those young linebackers that we talked about, Kimani Thomas. Again, out of the Houston area, Missouri City, the Fort Bend area. Elkins High School, 6'1", 195-pounder. I talked to him last night. He's actually a little over 200 pounds. Played behind a couple of Big 12 guys over the last couple of years. But you can see what his 2011 statistics were. Very active. Played some safety, played some drop down. Outside linebacker, which is we project him to play, where Seth Allison plays, Zach Bush, some of those guys. Very active, good speed, likes to strike, sideline to sideline, understands angles. Fine young man. Once again, tremendous bloodlines. Dad played on the national championship team at the University of Colorado. Offered to by some of the service academies, Air Force. Once he came here, it was over. This is where he wanted to be. And his best football is in front of him. Really, really like this young man. The next young man from the Dallas Metroplex, again, from Carrollton, Texas, Creekview High School, Tony Truong. Tony is a young man that we project to play defensive end. He played tackle in at Creekview. He's wrestling right now, so he's not quite 236. I think it was 224 when he came on his visit. He was wrestling in that 220 category. I love wrestlers. They understand leverage. They know how to use their hands. They can get their bodies contorted and know how to get out of it. And the best football for this young man is all in front of him. I got to tell you a quick story. There's always recruiting stories. He's part Vietnamese. And so on his visit, his mother came with him, and they had to bring a translator to translate my communication with Fong, his mom. And so after he committed, we're hugging and all excited. I said, okay, I'm coming to Carrollton next week, and I'd like for you to cook me a meal, an authentic Vietnamese meal. And so Coach Hammock and I, we got on the floor, you know, and chopsticks, and we had us, I have no idea what we ate, but we had us an authentic Vietnamese meal. And it meant so much to that family that we accepted them and accepted their culture and respected their culture. And this young man, we're going to make sure he gets his education and becomes a really good football player because that's a very humble family, and they're excited about, can't speak English, okay, the parents, but they want their son entrusted into our program. Tony Truong is going to be a good player and a good person here at the university. I'm excited about that, even though I'm not sure what I ate in that meal. The second safety is Amari Wallace, local product here from Little Rock. Pulaski Academy, one of the, again, more successful programs in our state. Pulaski won the state championship this year. You can see ESPN had him highly rated, the number 8 player in our state, 56th nationally as a safety. Had a lot of traffic. Did take a trip to Arkansas State this past weekend. You know, he's at Missouri State, Memphis, Tulsa. A lot of traffic. And, again, gives us some size at safety at 6'1", 185 pounds. If you watch this guy's highlight film, he runs, he hits, he returns kicks. He's great ball skills for a safety. And the great news is he's got a little brother that's going to be a big-time prospect, and we've already started that process with him. But he knows how to win. He comes from a winning program. Humble attitude, a worker. Really excited about Amari. Again, along with Darius Reed, both of those young men are going to have an opportunity to come in and contribute right away, not just on our defense, but in the kicking game. This young man right here next, Dylan Winfrey, 5'8", 174-pound athlete out of Bryant High School, and probably one of the best athletes in the state. If this young man was an inch or two taller, he would probably be wherever he wanted to go. He's a legitimate 4'4" flat guy. Played both receiver and corner. Made All-State 2 years as a corner. Another young man that we had in camp. Love his mentality. He's a competitor. He's explosive. He's very physical for his size. For you guys that were around here a few years ago, reminds you of Tristan Jackson. Of course, Tristan's still playing up in Canada. Dylan has those same return skills and same ball skills that Tristan had. We had him in camp, very impressive young man, and he was a Landers Award finalist this year for one of the top players in the state of Arkansas. There has been some discussion, play him on offense because he's so explosive, get him the ball. If you remember Trendon Holloway that played at LSU, he's about 5'5", world-class speed. This kid's not quite that fast, and LSU found ways to get Trendon Holloway involved on offense, but we really feel like he's got a chance to come over and play corner and give us that speed, even though he's a little bit undersized. Tristan made All-American here at 5'8", so we obviously think Dylan, what we've seen in camp and on film, can be one of those guys. There's two more left here. Tony Winslow. Interesting deal here with Tony. Tony's out of Kingwood, Texas. Last year gave us C.J. Simon, offensive lineman from the same high school in Kingwood. 6'3", 231-pound defensive end. Had early offers from Nevada, Missouri, Utah, maybe Arizona, can't remember. Very highly thought of young man. Just went through the recruiting process. Other people started filling up, fell off. Basically tripped at the end in this last week. Tripped McNeese State, tripped us, offers from both. And we finally got us a defensive end out of the Houston area that McNeese wanted. And that's a big-time football player. One of the top, projected by some as an outside backer, but one of the top pass rush guys that we've seen on film in a long time. He does some things naturally and instinctively that you can't coach. And having had 3 in the last 4 or 5 years drafted and 1 at the Super Bowl right now, and Markel Carter, after Tony came back from McNeese and visited our place, he was absolutely all in. And he may even get a little bit taller. His dad's probably about 6'6", and so he's still probably got some growing to do. A young man that would have a chance to probably come in and impact our team on defense next year. And last but not least of this signing class is Ricky Wyatt. I'm disappointed, Paul, that Trey's not here today. He wanted to know where our middle linebacker was. Well, here he is. 5'11", 233. Bad man now. Out of Monroe, Louisiana, Neville High School. Probably one of the most highly recruited players by the conference schools in our conference. Made multiple trips. Came to us last. Wasn't sure if he was going to visit. I will give Coach Kubik a lot of credit. Had an early visit, bumped us back. Next weekend visit, bumped us back. He took a midweek visit. Finally, we were able to be patient. We waited till he got here. And, the comments basically from his family was we blew away everybody. And with academics, facilities, and then certainly with the opportunity to come in and play right away. He saw Frank Newsom on film, and he knows Frank's not coming back next year. And so he sees an opportunity to come in and make an immediate impact. Very highly thought of, state champion at the 4A level from Neville High School, and was the state most valuable player, and also the defensive player of the game in the Louisiana 4A state championship. Again, he'll have a chance to make an immediate impact. I think those 3 linebackers, Wyatt, Jazz Mason, and Kimani Thomas, along with that secondary and the tight ends, really areas that we did extremely well in this process. Again, our coaches did a great job of profiling, of recruiting, and getting the type of student athletes on our campus. Now, you know me, I'm always going to take a second with the platform here. This thing has gotten out of control. It's taken on a life of its own, recruiting. And it's my hopes that there can be some reform with the NCAA. I think one of the things that we need to strongly look at as a Division I governance body is an early signing period. Heck, the FBS schools, the top 70 BCS schools, they've got a signing class. When did you commit to Oklahoma? In the summer? Before? November? Okay, but before the end of the season, in your high school season. Most of these FBS schools have 20 or so commitments before their season's ever played, and then definitely by the end of their season. So I think we need to have, I really feel passionately about this, that we need to have, or at least propose, an early signing period. There used to be one years ago, but it wasn't binding. And they did away with that back when I came out. But I really believe that it's something we've got to look at so that the big boys can get who they want. They've either got their needs filled or they didn't. We'll know that. They'll know that. The pool will be this, and then we'll be able to address that in the months of December and January and into February. And I just really think that what is a commitment these days? I mean, what is a commitment? I mean, really, what does that word mean in this process? And it's very frustrating, not just to me, but our staff and a lot of college coaches around the country. And it's like I told one young man, so you're committing to me, do you want me to go shop your scholarship around? Oh, no, Coach, don't do that. But then he goes and takes a visit next weekend to School B, and he's still shopping around. So anytime there's a human element, I know that it's going to be difficult to, tie people down. But I really feel passionately that there needs to be some reform. And I've seen this for 30 years. It's just gotten worse and worse. And I watch kids pick hats and take their clothes off and show a T-shirt. And then it filters down, to the kids at our level. And so in spite of all that, these men did an unbelievable job of holding these kids to their commitment. Now, did we get them all? No. But I am excited, and this staff is excited about the 20 or so guys that signed today, these young men, and those that are going to be coming into our program. You see, our goal is to go win a national championship at the Division I level. It's not to go to the GoDaddy.com Bowl. Okay? It's not to go to the Pizza Bowl. All right? It's a national championship, and you can do that here. And to do that, you've got to have players that want to be here, that are invested, that are passionate, and certainly have the ability. And we think all of these young men that are on this list, on this board, and the two sitting here, give us the best opportunity to do that, if not next year, in the coming years. And that's our goal. That's our goal.